Leet code question 21. Merge two sorted lists. So you're given the heads of two sorted linked lists, and you want to merge them into one big sorted linked list. And then you want to return the head of that merged linked list. So what is a linked list anyways? A linked list is an object that contains a value. So let's say this is an object. We call it a node. So this node contains a 1. And it also contains a pointer to another node. So this one points to 2, which also has a value of 2 and points to another value, which is the 4. And then at the end of a linked list, it actually points to something that we call null. So we're given the heads of two of these linked lists. So this is the head of linked list 1, and this is the head of linked list 2. And we want to create a new linked list with everything sorted. So let's call it. So we need a new head. Let's call this new head. So we need a new head. So let's just put a circle here. So what you can do is just compare the heads of the two linked lists, and whichever is smaller, we can take it, put it into the new head, and then go to the next node. So for example, 1 and 1, there's nothing smaller, so let's just say we take from linked list 1, we'll put it into our new head, and then after that traverse, go to the next node. So now we're over here with linked list 1, we compare 1 and 2, so 1 is smaller than 2, so we'll put 1 into the new head dot next. So over here, and then after that we'll traverse and go to the next node, and then so this is gone over here, and then after that we just keep on going while we continuously moved the new head as we continuously move this, and we continuously move this. One of the problems though is that we need a separate variable to move across the nodes here, because if we use a new head to move across, then we won't have a head to point to. Like we'll lose our head, and then we'll lose all our values. So we don't want that. So let me explain that via code. So you can ignore all these other functions. These are just other functions to let it so that I can create nodes inside of Vim instead of having to do it in Leet code, because I like coding in Vim better. But what you're given is two heads. So list 1 and list 2 are just two heads. So let's call this head 1. Let's go to list 1, and head 2 is equal to list 2. Now we also need a new head to insert our nodes into. So let's call this new head is equal to list node. So list node is what we call this is the class for the node to create a node. And we also need a dummy or another pointer. So we have this new head here. So this is the new head here. And we have a head to the linked list 1 and head to linked list 2. But like I said before, we need that one variable that moves across the new node or the new head. So what we can do is make that equal current. So new head and current and list node, they all point to the same thing at the moment. Okay, and then we can start traversing. So we can say while head 1 and head 2. So while none of these are none, then we can check to see is head 1 dot value smaller than head 2 dot value. If head 1 dot value is smaller than head 2 dot value, that means the node of head 1 1. So this node 1, and so we have to put this node inside the new head and then traverse to the next guy. So how do we do that? We can say head 1, or we can say current.next. So current.next is the same as new head.next. So current.next is equal to head 1. So current.next is equal to head 1, and then we have to traverse head 1, because since now we stored head 1, now we can go to the next value of head 1. So head 1 is equal to head 1.next. So we go to the next value of head 1, and then after that we have to traverse current.next. So we're pointing here, but now we have to point to the next one so that we can store whatever next value of linked list 1, linked list 2 that we compared with to that value. I'm not good at explaining things, but that's basically how it is. So how we do that is calling current.next, or current is equal to current.next. So now we moved current and we moved head 1. And the reason why we have these two variables, cur and new head, is because of this. Once we move current to current.next, we lose the value of new head. So current now is not the same value as new head. So new head is there just to keep the new head variable, or the head of our new linked list, separate from everything. Current is a traveler. Okay, so we have this. Otherwise, and I forgot the if statement. So if head 1 is not smaller, that means head 2 is smaller, right? So head 2 is smaller. Head 2 dot value is smaller here. So right here, head 2 dot value is smaller. So if head 2 dot value is smaller, then we can do the same thing as the head 1 dot value is smaller, but we just change the head 1 to head 2, and then head 2, so traverse head 2 dot next, and then current is equal to current dot next. And since these two are the same, we can just move this, since it's going to happen anyways. Oops. And just say current is equal to current dot next over here, since it's always going to happen either way. So now we have, well, head 1 and head 2. So while any of these are not null or not none, then we traverse the list and put it into our new head, into our new head linked list. So the problem here, though, is that let's say we have the problem with this. So let's say we have 1, 2, 3, and then a 4, 5, 6. So let's say we have these two pointers here, and we compare 1 and 4. So one is smaller, so 1 goes into here, points to here. 2 is smaller, so 2, and then we go to the next one here, and then a 3 is smaller, so it goes here. So now we're at the end of the list, right? We're at the end of the list. So what are we comparing now? Are we comparing null with 4? That won't work. That won't work as a comparison. So what's interesting is that we already know that this linked list is already sorted, so we can just, and all of these are already pointing to these next ones, so we can just say 3 points to this 4, and then that's going to be sorted anyway. So that's going to be our sorted list. So we could just point at the end, if we traverse fully one node or one linked list, then we can just point to the end of the remaining list. And since that list is already sorted, we can do that. So that's why, while head 1 and head 2, so that means that as long as, so this means that both of them have to be, in this while loop, both of them have to be not none. However, once one of them is already done, what if the other one is not done yet? So we can check for that. We can say if head 1, or yeah, we can say if head 1, so if head 1 is the one that's, if head 1 is the one that isn't none, so that if it still exists, then we can just put current.next is the head 1, and then if head 2 is the one that doesn't exist, then we get current.next is equal to head 2, and then at the end of the day, we just return our new head. So let's actually try testing this out. Let's try testing it out. So let's traverse the new head. So while new head dot next is not none. So actually, what we have to do is return new head dot next. The reason why we're returning new head dot next is because we started with current dot next is equal to head 1. So the beginning of our new head is going to be current dot next, which was new head dot next. New head right now is just equal to 0. So that's why we have to return new head dot next. So while new head dot next is not none, then we could, let's say, print new head dot value, and then new head is equal to new head dot next, like so. So let's print this out, or this is test.final. So has to do something like this. Yep. And actually, just to better format this, let's make a list. Let's call this nodes, and we're just gonna go nodes.append new head.value, and then print out the nodes. So that is actually what we want to see: 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. And let's see if we do something like 4, 5, and 6. We want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that is correct. And so that is the merge two list questions from Leet code. This is my first time dealing with a linked list question, so I had to do a lot of research on this. Obviously, even I don't know some of the things that I did here. Like, for example, this new head.next is not none. I don't know why we call new head is equal to new head.next first, but it works. So, and yeah, my explanation for this is not that good, just because my learning of this is still fresh, but I'm doing these videos to help myself learn. So it is what it is, and that is this video.